Today we'll be going with the next topic of your Java third unit. Before going with that one, just we will regrasp the things what you have learned in the previous week. Actually, I started with some of the concepts called the package. Package is nothing but called as what? It is a group of interfaces or classes which are going to be together within a one single bundle. We can call that one as API. Application programming interface, wherein which you have been seeing the different types of user defined, how you're going to create your own packages that are nothing but called as header files, and how you want to use the different set of user defined as well as built-in packages within the Java programming languages. And you have been went with a simple example of actually the packages created and how those packages can be defined with even within your own programming, and how you're going to access those all the inbuilt packages within your program. You have seen with the simple examples in the previous class, and how you're going to name the conventions. Naming conventions means identification of packages within a program, how they will be identified. First it will be identified with the package name, that is Java lang dot class name or the mathematical dot method name, and these all the informations can be directly used within your program also. There is nothing but called as what packages. And lastly, we have been seen how actually the packages are going to be defined with different access controls. Okay, so these are all the things you have seen in the last week. Today we'll be going with the next third part of your third unit, and if I am going to complete this one, your third unit will be completed. Okay, fine. We'll be going with the third part of your third unit, that is what actually meant by an interface. As you already knowing, multiple inheritance is an inheritance of, or it cannot be used within your Java programming language, because Java can extend only one class at the most. Multiple inheritance is a part where more than one class can be used in an inheritance concept, which could not be achieved within your Java programming language. For that sake, instead of defining the another class as in a form of multiple inheritance, that can be called as interface. One class can be extended, another class can be implemented. Like this way, these all the informations can be defined with using with your interfaces. An interface is basically a kind of a class. How? And a class contain define methods as well as, or interface contains some methods as well as variables, but with a major difference. It is how you are going to define a class. Same way we are going to define the interface also, but small and normal difference you are going to have. What is the difference? The difference is that interface define only abstract methods and final fields. Means if you are defined with anything or declared with a variables or a methods within a program, could not be used within the interface, can be used in the different classes where they can be implemented or dragged from there. Okay, you can declare, you can't access, or you can't, and you can access, but you can't define them or write anything within the interfaces itself. They are called as what abstract methods and final fields. Abstract methods means declarations will be there, definition can be done or can be accessed outside of the class, and you reuse or you can define within anything within that particular function name. This means that interface do not specify any code to implement these methods, and data fields contain only constant values. Means methods as well as fields will be used for constant purpose. Means you are going to define, declare them, you are going to assign the values, but those all the things will not be they will not be redefined within the interface, but they can be used within the other classes where the interfaces will be used or accessed. Okay, then, therefore, it is responsibility of a class that implements an interface to define the code for implementing of these methods. What he is going to say now, whatever the definitions you have made, the methods or the fields within the interfaces directly, they can be redefined. It is going to be responsible for a particular class where interfaces are accessed. So it has been given a simple definition over here how actually the interface name are defined and how you're going to declare the variables and the method declarations. Just you can check with that one. Interface is a keyword which is going to define an interface name. Interface is a keyword which is going to be defined with interface name, and within a bracket you're going to define variable declarations as well as method declarations. Okay, you're going to define with variable declarations as well as method declarations. Okay, then variables can be declared as a static final type variable name is equal to value. Means static final means constant. We can't change it. As a definition is going to say that interface variables or methods are defined for constant values. We can't, you can use them, but we can't change any informations within them. So for that sake, they will be prefixed with a word called as static final type variable name is equal to whatever the value you wanted to give. Methods are declared as follows. Return type method name of parameter list. So return type means what type of values you are going to return from them one function to the another thing, and method name means what type of name you are going to define, and parameter list means what are the different types of values you are going to send from a class to the class in the form of objects or a constant values. Okay, so it has been given a simple example here. Interface item static final int code is equal to 1001. So 1001 is a constant value defined for a code which will be abstract. I can't change that one. If you wanted to use code anywhere within a program, it is can be accessible, but we without changing any informations for that. Static final string name is equal to fan. So I have been defining with fan now. Fan name will be defined. Void display. Void display is written declared here, but not written any code. This function code can be written in your upcoming or different class where you are going to access this interface within the program. Another example interface, it can define area or rectangle or triangle like that way. Final static final static float pi is equal to 3.142 af means float value you have been defined, and you are going to have a float compute of float x comma float y means you are defining another one function which is defined with some parameter list. In the previous example it was not defined, but here you are going to define with parameters, and another one function you are using with void show. So this is how actually the parameters are defined, or methods as well as variable declarations will be done with the final static informations. So this is how the interfaces will be defined. Then how you can extend one interface to the another interface means when there is a part I wanted to access or extend one interface to the another interface. You are extending one class to the another class, no, like that interface can you give its all the different things or properties to the another interface within the Java programming languages. Interfaces can also be extended, that is an interface can be sub interface from other interfaces. The sub interface will inherit all the members of the super interface in the manner similar to subclasses. This is achieved using the keyword called as extends. Already are written in the inheritance concept. A class can extend to the another class, and whatever the properties of a main class will be there will be inherited by the subclass information. So it can be syntax can be written like this. Interface name to extends name 1 body of name 2. So I have given a simple example here. Interface item constants int code is equal to 1001, string name is equal to fan. So first interface is defining with variable or a field names. In the second interface you are defining with the function which is going to be extended from the item constants. Interface item extends item constants means this particular item will call the interface called as item constants. How the class will be extending itself? No, like that the interface will be extending. In the previous example you have written all the three in one interface, but I have been derivated or divided or separated in a form of two ways. One, item constants with variables, and item with the method names. The interface item could inherit both the constant of code and name into it. Note that the variables name and code are declared like simple variables. It is allowed because all the variables in an interface are treated as a constants, although the keyword final and static are not used. Once again, he is going to say, if you don't use a final or a static, whatever you are going to define within interface, they will be treated as a constant values itself. So this is how you are going to define the extended interfaces. Means when there is a problem in defining with more than one values or more than two values, at that time you can separate the variables and separate the methods in two different interfaces. Then you can go for another next concept that is called as implementing interfaces. Implementing interfaces means it is a very important part of your Java programming language, where when two different classes could not directly inherit, that time we are going to define one class as a class, another class as an interface, and that interface will be defined by defining with the implement statement. Implement means it will be acting like another class to the derived class. For example, a b will be there, two superclasses, and c will be there. C will extend a, and it could not extend C but implements the C. That is the importance of going with multiple inheritance. This can be achieved by defining with multiple inheritance. Interfaces are used as superclasses whose properties are inherited by a classes. It is therefore necessary to create a class that inherits the given interface. This is done as follows. Class name implements interface. Means here interface could not be extended. One interface can extend to the another interface, not an issue, but a class could not extend the interfaces, but it could be used for defining with implements. That is a difference you are going to have. Class can extend another class, interface can extend another interface, but we can't extend the interface for a particular class, but that can be achieved by defining with the interface with an associating or gradually defining with a word called as implements. I have been defined here. Class name extends superclass, implements and interface 1, interface 2. You can define with more than one interfaces at a time. So by this I will stop here itself the class. Rest of the things we shall discuss in the upcoming classes.